All right, guys, we're gonna be going over one of my favorite leg exercises, the split squat. I do these just with a couple different tweaks, and it kind of depends on what you're trying to get out of the exercise, depending on which variation might be best for you. So I'll typically prescribe that in your program, or I'll notate which version I want you to be doing, whether it's for balance or whether it's for strength hypertrophy. So the balance version is just simply kind of like you normally do on a split squat. We're gonna support. One thing that's good to think about, guys, is like this is gonna be like a bench height or something like that, but you want the crease of your ankle to go right at the edge of the bench when you're in the down position. So that's kind of how you want to be able to find that. I don't think it's super comfortable to try to put my toes up there. It just crams my toes into the table, and it doesn't really give you as much of a support up there. So come out to where at the bottom of your split squat, the crease of that ankle is right there at the bench. From here, it's kind of a J motion to where I'm using this leg to pull myself up and forward. So I'm coming down and back, up and forward. Down and back, up and forward. But this left leg, this stance leg, is doing all of the work. This guy is just here for balance. I'm not pushing into the table with that leg, okay? Same thing, I'll show you on the other side. Get that left ankle crease where it is. Up and forward, down and back, up and forward, down and back. Now doing it in this manner, I am getting a little bit more glute activation and hamstring too, because I'm pulling myself forward up out of the hole. And if you look at the ratio of hip flexion to knee flexion, it's just a little bit more of a hip dominant pattern than your typical split squat. So if for any reason you were wanting to hit your quads on that, you would not do that J pattern. You would just go straight up and down, kind of in a piston motion. But that is the unsupported version. So I'm using my hands to balance. There's a lot of variations we can add to that, but I'm not really going to go into that. But the unsupported version is mainly for balance, stability, single leg loading, and mobility, whereas this next version is really trying to just exhaust the tissue. So you want something to balance with, and typically a PVC pole or something, anything in front of you. It could be the front of a squat rack and you've got the bench behind you. That works great. But if I've got this leg up, I'm going to have my weight in this hand and then the pole on this side so that this weight can just drop right down through the bottom. Just like that. And you can get to where you're loading that up. Now, you don't have to use a kettlebell. That could be a dumbbell. But what I like to do when I'm purposely loading that heavy, I don't want to have to focus on my balance. The more thrown off we are in terms of balance, your body will actually kind of put a governor on you in terms of what your output can be, because it's trying to not let you get hurt. But if you don't have a very stable firing surface, you can't produce as much force. So it's kind of that old analogy, you can't fire a cannon from a canoe. You've got to have stability in order to be able to produce force output. So having that extra contact point and being more stable allows you to go one deeper into the set also. It's not just that you can push harder, you can get deeper and deeper into that set and really just fully exhaust your leg muscles because you're not worried about the stability component. So just different variations there. Overall, the pattern is the same for me. It's that J, down and back, up and forward. And you would be holding the weight on the same side of the leg that's up on the bench so that you've got a nice gap for it to fall through. So that's the split squat tutorial. If you have any questions, let us know. Thanks.